Hi, this is Pastor Brian. We continue to read through the book of Job together. Today we will be reading chapter 2. I will be reading from the Common English Bible. Feel free to follow along or use your own favorite translation as we explore chapter 2. One day the divine beings came to present themselves before the Lord. The adversary also came among them to present himself before the Lord. The Lord said to the adversary, "Where have you come from?" The adversary answered the Lord, "From wandering throughout the earth." The Lord said to the adversary, "Have you thought about my servant Job? For there is no one like him on earth, a man who is honest, who is of absolute integrity, who reveres God and avoids evil. He still holds on to his integrity even though you incited me to ruin him for no reason." The adversary responded to the Lord, "Skin for skin. People will give up everything they have in exchange for their lives. But stretch out your hand and strike his bones and flesh. Then he will definitely curse you to your face." The Lord answered the adversary, "There he is, within your power. Only preserve his life." The adversary departed from the Lord's presence and struck Job with severe sores from the sole of his foot to the top of his head. Job took a piece of broken pottery to scratch himself and sat down in a mound of ashes. Job's wife said to him, "Are you still clinging to your integrity? Curse God and die." Job said to her, "You're talking like a foolish woman. Will we receive good from God, but not also receive bad?" In all this, Job didn't sin with his lips. When Job's 3 friends heard about all this disaster that had happened to him, they came each one to his home. Eliphaz from Teman, Bildad from Shuah, and Zophar from Naamah. They agreed to come so they could console and comfort him. When they looked up from a distance and didn't recognize him, they wept loudly. Each one tore his garment and scattered dust above his head toward the sky. They sat down with Job on the ground 7 days and 7 nights, not speaking a word to him, for they saw that he was in excruciating pain. So as always, what stuck out to you? What did you find most interesting? Was it the fact that God continued to let the adversary go after Job? Was it the fact that Job's wife was ready to give up? Was it the fact that Job wasn't ready to give up? One of the things that I have always held on to from seminary is this final part about Job's 3 friends, about Eliphaz, about Bildad, and about Zophar. They come and they sit with him for 7 days and 7 nights, not speaking a word to him because they saw the pain that he was in. I remember that from seminary because I remember as we studied this part of the text, our seminary professor pointed out that 7 days they just sat with him and didn't say a word. I think so many times we often want to fill the gaps of silence, that things need to be said, that we have to say words to comfort someone who is in pain and in mourning, like obviously Job must have been, and clearly see that his wife was. But here they come and they sit, and they have just this presence with him. Just a presence, and how comforting that presence was. So what do you make of all of that? What do you think about Job's friends just sitting there not saying a word? Do you think that would be helpful? Do you think that they need to say something? Where do you fall in the line of simply being with someone versus filling the gaps of silence with words, especially in light of all the wisdom literature that we've been studying? Are just saying words more important, or is being with someone and caring for them just in you being there and showing that you care? So think about that. Think about anything else that stuck out to you and write them down, share them with a friend, share them on social media. Think of what this might mean for you in pandemic. And we'll see you again tomorrow as we read chapter 3. God bless you all.